Look, the Muslim Ummah is at a breaking point. We are being attacked from every corner. Whether it's the news posting something in the media, whether it's them making fun of you at school or work, or all of the comments and opinions on social media. We are surrounded by distraction, division, and threat. And you feel it, don't you? But why are we standing still? Why aren't we doing anything? Well, here's the truth. The world that we live in today didn't get to this point by accident, it's by design. So in these series, starting from today, I'll reveal something that no one has ever done before. I'll provide you with the tools you need to take back control as a Muslim and achieve a life full of success in all aspects: mindset, productivity, routine, wealth. So over the space of 3 episodes, we will dive into the core of the current problem of the propaganda machine and craft a full action plan to fight back and build the best version of yourself as a Muslim to set yourself up for success in both this world and the next one. Or in other words, what I call becoming a luminary Muslim, a source of light, guidance, and strength for the Ummah, something that we right now need more than ever. And you might be thinking, who am I to tell you all of this? Well, as a Muslim revert, I've been able to see the other side of this world from a very close perspective. After being in business for more than 8 years in Europe now, working with top-tier clients, different partners, and the best mentors around the world, and closing 50 to 100k deals on development projects in my early 20s. But on the other hand, making tons of mistakes costing me over tens of hundred thousands of dollars. I've seen both the good side and the bad side of life from very close. But the funny thing is that after all of that, I ended up studying the Deen as the thing I most like, because all of the answers that we're searching for can be found in there. And what I found, to my surprise, is that when you combine the knowledge and the teachings of Islam with the opportunities and the success formula of the Western world that I've seen from very close, we as Muslims can become unstoppable, because we as Muslims have something that no one has here around the world. But before we can step into this role of being a luminary Muslim, we must confront the harsh truth and the reality that we're facing today. Because everything starts with understanding the problem that our Ummah is facing right now. And therefore, we need to take a deep dive into where it all started. Because you see, the craziness that is going around in today's world isn't something new or something that only happens in this time and age. Over 1400 years ago, before our Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was born, Arabia was in a state of ignorance and chaos. The Arabs were lost, following their desires, worshipping idols, treating women in a very bad way, and living with no sense of purpose. It was a dark time, a time of complete spiritual void. But then, something magical happened. Unto a simple noble man who couldn't read or write, a revelation came down. The angel Jibril alayhi salam delivered the first words of the Quran to our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Ikrah bismi rabbika alladhi khalaq. Read in the name of your Lord, who created everything. This single moment changed the course of human history forever. The light of Islam illuminated the hearts of those who accepted it. It brought justice to the oppressed, guidance to the misguided, and purpose to the purposeless. Islam spread rapidly because it addressed the deepest needs of the human soul. And from the deserts of Arabia, the light of Islam spread across the whole world. Within just a few decades, the Muslim Ummah grew into a global civilization, reaching lands far beyond its borders. And this led to the golden age of Islam, a time of unmatched intellectual, scientific, and spiritual prosperity. Muslim scholars became the leaders of knowledge, and not just Islamically, they excelled in fields like medicine, astronomy, mathematics, and engineering. Figures like Al-Khwarizmi, who pioneered algebra, Ibn Sina, whose works in medicine were studied for centuries, and Al-Biruni, a polymath who contributed to physics and geography. All of them emerged during this time, but their motivation wasn't about worldly success. These achievements were deeply tied to the Islamic values. Knowledge was seen as an act of worship, as a way to glorify Allah by understanding and serving His creation. Families were strong, the Ummah was unified, and the Muslims were a beacon of light for the rest of the world. It was also later during this time that the Ottoman Empire started to rise, one of the greatest Islamic empires to ever exist. They conquered Constantinople, the capital of the Romans, fulfilling the prophecy of our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because he once said, "You will conquer Constantinople, and its leader will be the best, and its army that will conquer it will be the best." And this became a reality. Subhanallah. They ruled an immense big land, from the western part of North Africa all the way to the Persian Gulf. Muslims lived together with strength, unity, and dignity. Everyone spoke Arabic and lived by the same values for over decades. The empire became a model of Islamic governance, balancing justice, knowledge, and spirituality. It was during this time that the Ummah has reached its peak. As our Prophet Muhammad ﷺ foretold, this golden era unfortunately wouldn't last forever. And after ruling the land for more than 600 years, the Ottomans started to get attacked. They started losing wars and their strength based on Western influences and mutual disagreements, ending up in the diversion of the Ummah, leading in the creation of borders between the lands that divided us and led to a point where we now value culture over religion, which is probably the smartest move of Shaitan that led us to where we are today, divided and weak. I mean, the smartest thing to do when you have an empire that is unbreakable is to attack it from the inside, don't you think? Creating different opinions, disagreements, and separations by culture. And after that, Islam's overall reputation shifted 180 degrees. I mean, when was the last time you checked the news and heard something positive about Islam? While we know that it's the most beautiful religion ever, we find it harder than ever to practice it and stay focused to our deen. Now, did you know that our Prophet Muhammad ﷺ also warned us about these signs of the ends of time? He said, there will come a time where holding on to your religion will be like holding on to a hot coal. Subhanallah. This is the time that we're living in today. Really, if you start reading about the signs of the end of time, almost all of them have already happened or are happening right now. I mean, the Ummah is struggling at all fronts. Knowledge is being lost. Scholars are passing away, and disunity has become widespread. Muslims are falling in the traps of zina, alcohol, laziness, and endless distractions. And the Western system that most of us live in today feeds these temptations, pulling us further from Allah. Social media, entertainment, and materialism have become the tools of Shaitan to keep us busy with what doesn't matter while neglecting what actually does. Now, here's the thing. We must realize that this is the reality we're facing. Yes, Shaitan's influence is strong, but as Muslims, we are commanded to fight against it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us the guidelines and the tools to overcome these challenges. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, وَالْعَسْرِ إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَفِي خُسْرٍ. By time, indeed, mankind is in loss. إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ. Except for those who have believed and done righteous deeds and advise each other to the truth and advise each other to patience. Subhanallah. Do you see that? In times of loss, the only way to stay strong and fight back is to believe, do righteous deeds, advise each other to the truth, and advise each other to patience. I mean, we cannot afford to stand still anymore. The longer we delay, the more difficult it becomes to return to the straight path. The time to act is right now. And our Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, the strong believer is better and more beloved to Allah than the weak believer. Well, there is good in both. We must realize that strength in faith, mindset, and our actions is what will allow us to rise above and take back control. And this will not only lead to personal success and big achievements in your life, but just as some brothers inspired me to embrace Islam, by being a good example, your transformation can inspire others to return to Allah. You must realize that real change in this world starts with yourself. And while the challenges in the times of today are greater than ever, there is hope. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us the tools to overcome these struggles. I mean, it's okay to feel stuck right now, to feel like your energy, physique, and your finances are low. But it's not okay to stay in this state, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will ask us how we spent our time and resources in this world. And now, be honest with me, would you be proud of yourself if you would have to stand in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the day of judgment with the way that you're living right now? I mean, if you are, I'm really proud of you. But unfortunately, not many of us can say that, because deep down, we know we can do much better. And you might be young, thinking like, I have all the time to change, to improve. But let me tell you the story of a young brother that I knew who thought he had time as well. He thought he had all the time of the world, and he planned to turn his life around in the future. But he wanted to enjoy first. Play games, hang around with friends, doing things that maybe are not really aligned with the Islamic values. But even though he said that, recently he got into a car accident and turned back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah be pleased with him. SubhanAllah. We don't know how much time we have left. Inshallah ta'ala we become 70, 80 years old. But we don't know. If you keep saying, I'll start tomorrow, it might be too late. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us and give us the strength we need to overcome these challenges of today. Ameen. Now, I really hope that you start to understand the current problem of our ummah today and its importance to combine forces and start acting right now. And after studying the deen myself, in combination with my experiences in the Western world, I found that there are two things missing in the ummah today that we need more than ever. And that, my brothers and sisters, is something that I will share in detail in the next episode. In the second episode of The Luminary Muslim on Thursday, 20th of February, I'll show you the exact steps you need to take back control over your life and start fighting against the propaganda machine. But let me share with you one thing in advance so you can start improving right away after watching this video. And the most important thing that I personally realized is that real improvement all starts with your daily actions and your daily routine. Because what you do on a daily basis will determine your future tomorrow. So I crafted a detailed document for you that explains my whole personal daily routine. All of my habits, time blocking, how I use it, productivity hacks, and all of that based on the Quran and the Sunnah. This is the thing that I've used, making it possible for me to balance both deen and dunya in the perfect way. Now you can find this resource linked in the description of the WhatsApp group of this event. And if you haven't joined that yet, you can do so via the first link in the description below this video. Stay sharp, my brothers and sisters. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide you, and I'll see you in the next episode where I'll reveal the missing elements in today's ummah and the greatest gift you will need to reclaim your legacy and start building on your future. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.